What's up, everybody? Brandon Warren here from BrandonWarren.com to bring you a little bit of news from the last couple days on the Major League Baseball scene. And I think a couple of things that BrandonWarren.com readers might be interested in would be, first, the Scott Baker signing by the Chicago Cubs just a couple days ago. And then, secondly, we'll touch on the mega deal made between Toronto and the Miami Marlins here just in the last 24 hours or so that still hasn't actually officially cleared the commissioner's office. So first, let's go down the avenue with Scott Baker. Obviously, the Twins had worked in earnest to get Scott Baker healthy over the last year to re-sign him. The $9.25 million option that the Twins had on Baker was obviously prohibitive, based on the fact that he may or may not be ready to go next season when it starts. What my basic opinion on this one is that the Cubs' base salary was not something the Twins should have matched. $5.5 million next year, plus incentives to bring the deal to, I believe, somewhere right around $7 million. And while Baker, when healthy, will almost certainly be worth $5.5 million, the Twins not only have exclusive access to what Baker's gone through in his career injury-wise, which has been a little bit but not a great deal. No team knows Scott Baker better than the Twins at this point, and if they decided he wasn't worth a $5.5 million base salary, then he just wasn't worth it. Now, he's going to go to Chicago, Southside National League, and the thing about pitching in the National League, facing the pitcher anywhere from 2 to 4 times a game, is going to boost his strikeouts per 9, and that's going to make him look like much more of an ace-type pitcher than he actually is, a guy that lives 90-92 with a fastball, pretty decent breaking ball, and then a nice third pitch there. But what's going to happen is the Cubs are kind of banking on him being a trade chip at the middle of the season. And if you really think about it, the Twins and the Cubs are coming off of very similar seasons. Basically, everything that could have gone wrong did. So Baker didn't really choose it on the basis of anything other than money. And maybe he was a little bit upset with how his situation was handled last year, end of spring training, beginning of the season. We probably will never actually know because Baker seems to play it pretty close to the vest. But he didn't leave for a better situation. He didn't leave for anything really that we can tell other than money. And if the Twins were only willing to offer $3-4 million, it's really hard to blame Scott Baker either, because you want a guy to go do whatever's best for him. Now, it's a 1-year contract, so the Cubs, not only may he not pitch till May, who even knows, they're hoping to get at least enough time out of him for him to be an attractive option on the trade market when the trade deadline comes around. It's a calculated risk by Theo Epstein, but at $5.5 million, that's only going to buy you a 4 or 5 starter on the open market. So, when Baker's healthy in the National League, there's no doubt in my mind he can be a number 2. Good move for the Cubs, good non-move for the Twins, and a good deal for Scott Baker as well. Moving on, we got the Miami Marlins, mega deal that was just about to be consummated here with the Blue Jays, and let me first just heap effusive praise on Alex Anthopoulos, the general manager of the Toronto Blue Jays. Terrific job here. The Yankees and the Red Sox have not been this weak in very, very long, like since the 90s. For the Red Sox, probably the mid-90s. For the Yankees, the early 90s. Now you have them both that weak at the same time. This is a perfect time to pull off a blockbuster trade when you are kind of a second division, third, fourth place team that's on the brink. So now not only do the Blue Jays have a ton of power hitters like Eben Encarnacion, Jose Bautista, basically JP Arencibia is still poking the ball out of the ballpark. They've basically redone their entire structure here. You got Jose Reyes to play shortstop. They got rid of the 2 shortstop candidates in Yunel Escobar and I believe it's Adeiny Echeverria. Basically, shortstop is all Reyes is to have. I mean, they've totally redone this entire team and only had to give up a few nominal talents, and then Jake Marisnick, who, depending on who you talk to, is somewhere near a top prospect. It's a great move for Toronto. They have a very real chance now to be in the mix in this division that basically has 5 viable candidates for next year's division crown. Even if you weren't a big believer in the Orioles, you can't just wipe them off the face of the earth just by default. On the other side, the Marlins, this sort of feels like a fool me once, fool me twice, and now this is fool me 3 times. The 97 season when they had that first World Championship, fool me once. 03 when they fooled us twice and got rid of all those guys again. Now, after a reckless spending off-season, they're just stripping everything bare and really whitewashing the fans and the taxpayers who paid the subsidies for this stadium. At what point, when the payments balloon, they're going to be absolutely horrifying for the Miami residents that are going to be footing the bill for this stadium. You think about it as a Twins fan, and the Twins fans are upset. 2 bad seasons, horrible pitching, a decent offense, a farm system that's still got some guys that are a little ways off. Think about this, Twins fans. It could be so much worse. You could be Marlins fans. Now it looks like the Marlins are just going to flip off everything they have of value. Ricky Nolasco on the trade block. You know, not really a great starting pitcher, maybe a 5 in the American League. Sounds like the Yankees might be interested. But basically, the only thing they probably wouldn't trade would be Giancarlo Stanton and maybe Logan Morrison, though his personality may be a clash with ownership too. I'm not saying that MLB needs to step in and take over the Marlins from Jeffrey Loria or what exactly, but there's got to be something else where MLB can step in. And if a major free agent signs with Miami in the next 3 years, it's going to start to feel like you really can't buy into that whole sign and trade mentality. Like the Twins are experiencing with Josh Willingham now, where if they were to trade him, would that sour on free agent signing there later with the idea that you could sign a long-term deal and be traded 1 year in? So, I don't know. I think the Marlins have cost themselves more by trading these guys than they ever might have if they had just held on to them and played out the contracts. It's just a bad situation. I think Heath Bell was kind of the one that just was the worst of the worst, because relievers never are worth that kind of deal when they're declining like Heath Bell is. Anyway, that's kind of my little spiel on Scott Baker and the Marlins fire sale. So, leave me comments if you have something to say or some counterpoint to make, and I'd love to hear them. Thanks. Have a great day.